Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 2 of the RPG podcast. I'm here this week with Ultima. Say hi, Ultima.
Hi, Ultima. Oh,
And
wait.
an idiot. And Valaquenta.
Ultima's an idiot.
Yes, I'm glad we're all in agreement on that. All right, this week's topics. We're gonna start out with something that I don't know. It's a weird topic because we can't talk a whole lot about it. But somebody at Gamescom finally got to see something about a World of Warcraft movie, but nobody has footage of it. And the only description of it is that they saw an orc fighting a human in the desert.
You know, it's a myth. Blizzard paid a bunch of people, put them in a room, and said, "Hey, you guys saw a movie. Now spread the word."
I
We
like
all know that's what really happened.
I like how I like how their description of the movie is, "Hey, it's a human and he's fighting an orc." World of Warcraft. Didn't we see that shit in Lord of the Rings?
But it's a WoW orc, which makes it better, right?
But how do we know it's a WoW orc?
Because he
He
was
didn't say
green.
anything.
I think. I don't know. I haven't actually
But how do
seen
you
it.
know he's green?
Nobody's actually seen it.
There you go. It's all
You know,
speculation. Who knows?
because it's like it's the internet. Someone with a cell phone didn't record it.
I know, right?
I know,
Like
right?
nobody's like, dude, let me put on stuff or at least take a picture of the damn thing.
Maybe they had maybe they had like a screening process or something, because this is supposed to be like so hush hush secret stuff.
Either they
That's
had
that's
Either they have the best security on the planet, security that not even the fucking president has, or this shit is just magic.
They had
I'm
scramblers.
telling you, they paid a bunch of people to say there was a movie that they saw, and then they all gave them that amazing Zergling transforming into a Baneling pet or little plushy thing.
I heard about that and I want one. I don't even fucking care that much about StarCraft, but that sounds amazing.
That does sound adorable. Wait, is it like a pet in World of Warcraft, or is it like a stuffed animal?
It's like a plushie that's a fucking Zogling that turns into a Baneling.
Oh, is it one of those ones that you like? You kind of like open it up and you reach inside of it and you like pull it inside and out, and it's like a baneling.
Something like that.
I think that's how it works.
Oh, okay, I want one of those. That's adorable. I want to give it to my daughter. I want two. One for me, one for my daughter.
I am very jealous of Comic Con. One of these years I've got to go to Comic Con because I heard that they were selling fucking DBZ scouters and everything, and I fucking want to go to Comic Con.
Oh man, dude, that's like nerd heaven. I want to go to one of those. Like one of these days, I want to go to like PAX Prime or Comic Con or even like the Anime Con or whatever the hell it's called. I want to go to one of those, you know, just somewhere I can go and just
Anime Con is fun.
nerd out and not have people stare at me because I'm not gonna dress up.
Dude, I totally one of these days we will be big enough to go to BlizzCon and E3 and Comic Con and PAX and the other PAX and probably the other PAX and maybe even the other PAX.
That other PAX. Well, let's not forget the other
The
PAX.
packs nobody knows about. The chlamydia pack.
Secret PAX. Dude, it would just be so worth it to actually go somewhere, you know, buy one of those scouters and put it on and be like, it's over 9,000, and actually get a couple people to chuckle because they get the reference. I went to Six Flags and I walked in that like cheesy store, that Hall of Justice, and I walked in and go, meanwhile at the Hall of Justice, and he didn't have any looks, and I'm like, my childhood is fucked.
The sad thing is someone's gonna be like, you know, in the actual world it's only over 8,000.
Yeah, it's actually a translation error. It's actually over 8,000. I can't believe you people still say 9,000. You are such noobs.
And then you
Like,
turn around and Rune's standing behind you as he says that.
it's at that point I turn around, kiss my wife, and be happy that I'm a nerd that's married.
I would be like, Kamehameha!
Like, I was so worried growing up because I was like nerdy and into Dragon Ball Z. Had these Dragon Ball Z shirts, and people used to call me like Dragon Ball Z at school. And then I actually came out of it with a girlfriend and a wife. So I was like, yeah, who's the winner now?
Yeah.
Until you run out of that money that you gotta pay every
Yeah.
month.
That's the funny thing. She's the one actually working. Like, I want to work when we get home, but they don't hire. I'm an army wife. They don't hire army wives around here, so fuck.
You heard it here, guys. Ultima is a wife. Anyways,
Am
back
I
on the
pretty?
topic
Stay at
of
home mom
this.
right there.
Lol. Back on the topic of this may or may not be real WoW movie. Like, it's really exciting to hear that Blizzard might be making a movie. Because when I think about Blizzard making a movie, I think about the one thing Blizzard is always good at, and that's making badass cinematics. But I think this movie is gonna be live action, so it like crushes that entire dream.
It's live action and it's CGI.
Well, it it comes. Okay, so you can't push it off for being live action though, because we've seen like the Lord of the Rings and um, insert another fantasy title here. I can't think of one. I want to say Hobbit, but that's part of Lord of the Rings. And it's like we know people can do live action fantasy really well, so we can't push that off though.
I'm not pushing it off, but like Blizzard is, if not one, probably number two when it comes to the best cinematics in the world. With number one, possibly two, being Square Enix. And when they're
Square
like,
Enix.
hey, let's make a movie, they made a fucking CG movie, and it looked gorgeous.
No, Final Fantasy VII one at that,
Yes.
and another one that didn't do as well, but it looked fantastic. I didn't really.
That movie gets so much hate, and I think the problem is that they stuck an entire video game's worth of backstory into a movie, so nobody like caught the backstory while they were giving it to you in like 30 seconds in these small little conversations. So everyone hated that movie.
I I think the problem was is when you think of Final Fantasy, you think of like the early Final Fantasies where everything's like steampunky. You know, I mean, yeah, we're riding Magitech armors, and you know what our excuse is? It's fucking magic. It's like, yeah. And then you're in this one where they're like riding in spaceships and stuff, and it's like
That's true.
technology.
If they were to have released that movie now, though, I think it would probably have came out better because you had fucking what 13, which is like less about or more about the technology and shit.
Yeah. Well, 8 was all about technology too.
Yeah, but 8 wasn't very good. 7. No, we're not gonna get. We're gonna save. We're gonna save Final Fantasy talk for later. We will do an entire episode for Final Fantasy talk. We're not gonna get into
Yeah.
my feelings on Final Fantasy 7 or 8 because that will be the end of the podcast, probably forever. Anyways, though,
Wasn't like 7 or 8. What?
I just wish that Blizzard had been like, okay, we're really good at CG shit, and we could probably save giving other people money by just doing what we're fucking amazing at and making CG shit.
I don't know. I think Blizzard was like, okay, well, yeah,
No,
we're good at
you had.
CG shit, but we should really save it for our games. And I don't know, maybe they were just really wowed by Lord of the Rings. They're like, wow, people can actually do this shit. Let's fucking make a World of Warcraft movie.
Either way, I will be there to go see. I don't even play WoW right now, but I will be there to go fucking see that movie because Warcraft is probably one of the greatest series of games of all time.
I started with 1. I could not beat 1. I could beat 2 though.
I've
God, you suck.
never played 1. I've played 2 and 3. 3 is easily in my top 5 favorite games of all time. Thrall is an amazing character in that game, and I love everything about fucking Warcraft 3.
It was good. I didn't have a computer that could play it though. That was one of those. That was one of those like technology check games, like Doom 3 was, and Crisis 1. It was kind of like, hey, do you have a computer that can run this? You don't. Ah, I'm over here playing it. And it's amazing.
It's like one of my
Oh, it's kind of like my PC.
yes, Val, you and your amazingly bad PC that can't play anything but Minecraft.
You put my PC up next to an Atari, and Atari's like, bitch, please.
Atari feels like the big man. It's like pushing your computer around. What? What? This is my turf. Get out of here. But don't tell NES I said anything.
Speaking of PC chat games, and this is completely off of any of our topics we have listed, apparently PlanetSide 2 just got a big upgrade that made the game tons better. We need to go back and check that out sometime soon.
I agree. I like it. It's like
Good luck on that one.
Battlefield 3 without the battle log.
I
You
know.
just jump in, you're like, yeah, let's
You
just
just
do
jump in and you're like,
everything.
hey, let's go take an area of the map. And then you kill people.
Yeah.
And then you run into TV's Battle Squad.
Did we kill more people?
So, I
Because
mean-
we're on his faction.
Yeah, we're in his faction, dude.
Oh, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
gotta be against
You are
this
too.
faction. I know.
I think
fucked
that's
up on
why,
that
though.
one.
I think that's why the red team is so overbearing in that server.
Oh, it totally is. But that game is
It's
definitely
like what,
hella
an
fun.
8-1 or something like that.
8-1? Yeah, that sounds about right.
To be fair, it's 1 to 1 to 1. The servers are balanced. It's just that while they're balanced in overall population, there's still a limit to how many people can be on at a time. And generally, we tend to have the most people on at a time.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hail Hydra.
let's get back on topic and move back into our actual topics. So on the theme of World of Warcraft, WoW is now implementing an in-game store, which will connect you to the store you already got. Where you can buy mini pets and mounts and all that other fluff stuff. But apparently, you're also going to be able to buy experience boosters for leveling up, and free access to the tokens for your daily shit.
Whoa,
Free to
wait,
play.
you can buy those tokens?
I don't know if it's necessarily buying or if it's like a way to get them easier.
No, you buy them.
But you're the one who actually plays WoW right now. What, like, I know for me, I hated dailies, so the idea of getting the tokens because without having to do dailies makes me happy. But at the same time, I still feel like a prostitute doing it.
You know what? If
No.
if I spend a couple
see,
dollars and I
Blizzard's
don't
the
gotta do dailies
prostitute.
for a month, for like a month of dailies, fuck it, I'll do it. I don't care about the gold or the valor. I got plenty of gold. I don't care about that shit.
I think the thing that really comes to mind is how far was Blizzard willing to go in the stall? I've seen a lot of jokey videos so far on it.
They gonna sell heroic tier gear. I'm just kidding. They probably wouldn't go that here.
You need
They probably won't
PvP
sell
gear?
power like
Here's the
that.
highest level PvP gear for only $19.99. For an extra $5, we'll also throw in the highest level PvP mount you can obtain.
I think they'll probably do sell mounts in there, but I don't think they'll actually sell like gear. I think I think for the most part it'll be like cosmetic shit for the most part. But like even still, with the token, you're buying a chance at extra loot. You're not buying extra loot.
Even
Like
still,
you could sit
though,
there and buy 10 coins and only get 2 pieces out of it. I mean, it's still a chance.
that's still 2 pieces faster than without not having the tokens at all.
All they're
Yeah,
doing
and
is taking out the half hour or hour it takes you to do your dailies.
wait, can't you only hold like a certain amount of those reroll tokens anyway?
You can only have a certain amount of
Like,
the
you-
combined versions, but the minor, the lesser tokens, which is the ones you're getting, you can have a huge amount of those. So you can basically stock up on them, so you never have to do dailies again, and then tone in the limit every week.
Yeah, so,
Which
I
the
mean, are
limit's
we
now
talking
50
about,
instead of 90.
are we buying those tokens or are we buying the tokens that we
You're
buy
buying the
with those
lesser.
tokens? Oh, okay.
You're buying the ones that combine to the bigger
That's,
ones.
dude, I mean, just do like one set of dailies, like a day. You log on and you're like, okay, well, I'll just do this. I mean, most, the way I see it is I'm just getting money. I mostly just do it for the gold.
I have
I
gold.
mean, the
I
tokens
don't
are
need
just a
the
bonus.
gold.
I just
I really don't need
hate
that like
fucking
100 or 200 gold.
dailies. Like the dailies on Domination Point were pretty good, and I didn't mind doing those. And then Isle of Thunder came out, and I hated those fucking dailies.
With how much you hated to do daily. If they were like, hey, you don't like to do daily, spend $5 and you get 1,000 lesser tokens. Like, would you do it?
I'd probably do it,
That
to be honest. Except for the fact that I don't want to pay the sub fee, so I would probably not do it because that's one of the reasons why I'm playing it. Because I hate doing dailies, and then I hate paying a sub fee to do dailies. So that's one of the reasons I'm not playing right now.
see, I raid, so I pay the sub fee to raid in the PvP.
Is it that's a big question though? Is the sub fee worth 2 days of rating, 3 days of rating?
Oh, that does come
Well,
out to, let's
well,
say,
you got to
three
think
days
about
of
it.
rating a week. That's 12 days. It's like half a month.
And then you got to put it in terms of if you bought like a game, like how long will you play this other game? Like if you spend like $60 on a game, and it's got like a couple days of gameplay and like no replay value in it really. I mean, it's better to go with WoW then because you're getting much more gameplay out of it. Especially if you PvP and do arena.
Okay, I don't disagree with you, but in the idea of raiding, how long do you raid though till you get to that point where it's no longer fun and you're only raiding to be relevant for the next raid?
Well, my guild's still working through our heroics. We're not even halfway done with the heroics. Some of these are pretty pretty stupid. Like, but then again, we're also running into the issue of we have people just like they're like, oh, we're gonna take a break for a little bit, and then we're down a tank, and it's like, well, fuck, now what do we gotta do?
But that's the biggest problem with World of Warcraft. Is like when you do it every day and you're in a guild and like you're raiding every week, it becomes like a job. And after a while, you're just like, do I really want
Well,
to go fucking raid, or do I want to watch TV with my wife, or do I want to spend time with my family? Do I want to go out with my buddies, my IRL buddies? So then it's like, you know what, guys, I don't want to raid today. And then they're like, okay, well, you're replaced. Like forever. It's like, well, fuck you guys then. I'm not gonna play anymore.
well, see, we don't replace people just off the bat like that, but in the next
There's a
patch,
lot
they
of
also
guilds that do.
have the flexible raid schedule coming out in the next patch, which will downscale bosses to match the number of people inside of the raid. But it also downscales the loot too. So, like, if you're a 25-man raider guild and you only have like 20 that week, you can still run with 20, and it'll scale it down to 20 people.
That's
But that also means that you won't be getting like 560 out level loot. You'll be getting like 555, 550 or something like that. So your gear won't be as good as it would if it was a 25 man.
I don't hate that. I always like the idea of raids becoming more accessible. I don't hate LFL like a lot of people say it ruins the game. I don't hate it because it's not like that guild is gonna be the best guild out there. The issue I have is that people are gonna see this as an excuse for being lazy on raids, and then not really trying or showing up because they'll just think, oh, well, we can just do. They can just do it without me, and then you have the people who are like, well, now I'm not getting the highest level guild. Why raid with these people at all? Why don't I find another guild that's gonna get me the highest level guild?
And speaking of that, we have also in the next patch virtual realms, which is basically, hey, we're gonna server merge without actually saying we're server merging.
Well, they almost have to. I mean, don't forget that what was it, just like a year or 2 years ago, they say like 15 million, but I'm gonna say like maybe 12.5 million, that actually play. But pretty much what it comes down to is they're down to like 8.5 million now. They lost 4 million. They lost 1/3 of their player base. That's a lot of fucking people. And then it comes down to most of those people were in guilds. A lot of high population servers have become low population servers, like Shattered Ham, the one that we play on. When I was playing like a year ago, it was a high population server. Sometimes you had to sit through a queue, most of the time not really, but there was a lot of people on all the time, right? And then from what I hear, just like about 2 months ago or something like that, you were complaining that it's considered a low population server right now. So
Yeah,
they have
in
to do a
server
server
ranking.
merge. But it's like, how do you do a server merge without telling everybody, hey, we're merging the servers, we lost a lot of people, our bad, maybe we'll make the game better, but hey, we're going to merge all the servers. No, you do it virtually. You do it like, kind of like how the looking for raid, or like, I think some of the lower questing areas, like the Barrens or something,
That's how the battleground stuff
is
works. Battle groups.
yeah, it's
It's
like a
basically battle
cross
groups.
server. So as soon as you enter that area, you're going to see people from other servers, but you don't know they're from other servers.
I mean, technically, they already have that implemented
Right,
now.
this technically already
Right
exists.
now,
If you
if
go to a starting zone or a low, like the low level areas, you'll actually run into people from other servers, and you won't realize it sometimes because it'll take a while for it to catch up. But after a while, you notice that people in chat will actually have the extended server tags like would be on PvP. Because it isn't really new. It's just that they're extending it to all areas of the game.
well, and there's also if you've got a buddy on a different server on your friends list, you get him and one of another guy on his server to invite you to a group, and it actually teleports you to their server. So you're actually roaming around in their Ogrimmar and everything.
That's pretty cool. This is something that definitely WoW needs. Even if it wasn't going down, it just opens up accessibility to the game even more. And I mean, if you think about it, WoW is the most accessible MMO out there. I am a MMO junkie. It is my number one addiction. I play too many MMOs, usually at the same time, which is why I can't afford to play MMOs right now because I play too many. But WoW is, I would still definitely recommend WoW to anybody jumping into MMOs because it's the most accessible MMO out there.
So I just realized that Val said that if you have two buddies that invite you to a group, you'll transport to their server. There's a bit of a problem with that if they don't fix it. Um, I could go on their server, which might not have as many people, which means stuff on the auction house would sell for significantly cheaper than on a high
It's still your
population
auction
server.
house.
Okay, I was just like, okay.
That'd
No,
be
I
no,
figured
funny
that's how
Blizzard
it
though.
might
doesn't
have
work.
foresaw that.
It's not like Blizzard hasn't fucked up an auction house before, so I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, once you said, "Oh, we can move servers," I was like, "Auction house exploit. Let's do this shit. I'm gonna make a character on a low population server and just invite myself over. You know, that'd be cool. That's the way to do it."
Too bad if you try to buy something on the auction house, it tries to send it to it like it'll if there's another character on that server with your name, it'll send it to that person.
That
Oh,
would be
that.
funny as
So there's
fuck.
like, "Hey, I
Because
got
that
this fucking
auction
like."
house is still linked to their server, and your character is linked to Shattered Hand. Auction house is kind of finicky,
When the fuck
but
did I
you
buy a
can't
tiger
exploit it with
card
it.
or whatever the hell those cards are? Tiger deck.
Tiger, tiger. Free mounts? Ah, yeah. I think Blizzard is going to be really careful about how they do auction houses from now on. They can't really afford
Oh
to
man,
fuck
could you
that up
imagine?
anymore.
Could you imagine if they put like the spectral tiger in that in-game store? Oh my god.
They could. I mean, anything to get money. At this point, it's basically just a cash grab, and they're just trying to make it easier. They're just doing what. I mean, the whole idea of the in-game store is just so lazy people don't have to alt tab out, open up and explore, and buy shit there. It's really just making it easier for lazy people to be lazy. And I mean,
Ah,
if they threw that in there, it would just be easier.
yes,
Like,
but is it that, or is it more along the lines of, hey, if we can add it in game, maybe sooner or later we can go free to play, and then we'll just have nothing but cosmetics in the store.
That's a good question too. I mean, the in-game store is usually the very first step to a free-to-play MMO. So, is Blizzard thinking about moving to the free-to-play market?
Yeah, I mean, when Blizzard had all those buyers, they were like, "Hey, buy these mounts. They're cool, or don't, whatever. Go on the internet, go into your internet browser and buy it." Now it's like, "Guys, it's in the store. If you were too lazy to buy it before, we need your money."
well, they also have those 3 crowns in the store also. There's there's like a frost. It's like a frostfire and some other crown that you can get that is only available through the in-game store, but is transmoggable.
The
So
transmog
I'm
shit
wondering if,
is like the big thing I've been waiting on. Because I just think that they should latch on the transmog and just start chunking out awesome transmog shit. I'll buy it. I'm petty. I want my character to look cool. Fucking throw the shit in
Oh
there.
yeah,
a
especially when
corrupted
like,
Ashbringer transmog in there. Oh man, shit, some
especially
people
when
would
you're
buy that.
someone like a hunter, and my gear isn't like my tier gear. Usually looks kind of like, bleh. So I'd love to have some different looking gear.
Like, hey, dead animals on your body.
Yeah, it's like,
You
yeah,
run a
so I'm a hunter, but I'm not an Indian. Come on, I don't have to
get
use
this
everything I
transmog
hunt.
and you'll look like a deer. Like your character will actually be a deer, and it'll be shooting arrows out of its mouth.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell. That can I buy something in the in-game store to make Shaman's good again, please?
Nah, I mean,
Nah,
you'd have to like,
shamans are fine.
you'd have to pay an absurd amount of money.
Shamans are getting buffs. Fucking stupid buffs.
We deserve it. We've been gimped for so long. Fuck priest, nerf them to the ground.
Haha.
Already happened, bro. Last 3 patches, man.
Wolf, so wolf. I would play WoW if it was free to play. I'd probably update that shit right now. I think it's even on my desktop right now, to be honest. Okay, it is. Yeah, I would update that shit and play it if it was free to play.
Oh my God, if World of Warcraft went free to play, and I'm not talking about that, hey, play to level 20. It's like, no, fuck you. If they went legit free to play and not like Star Wars free to play where they're like, hey, you can do everything except endgame stuff. But I want to raid. But if Blizzard went legit free to play, I would fucking play it. Just hands down. I don't want to pay any money for it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, at
Like,
this point,
I've probably given
After what, 8 years
so
of
much
paying
money
for
to
it?
Blizzard. Exactly. I've given so much money to Blizzard. Let me fucking play it now.
I mean, what, base game, 4 expansion packs, 8 years worth of sub fees, 2 accounts. I bought my girlfriend's account and have upgraded it every time. Well, okay, I have a virtual authenticator. I don't pay for authenticator, but the people who bought authenticators for their account,
And I'm gonna throw this
That's
out
a
there
couple
too.
dollars well
Maybe
spent.
if Blizzard didn't exactly go free to play, but they went like $5 a month, I can probably part with $5 a month. But 15, I'm getting sick of your 15.
I know, and that's the reason
I'd
why.
rather, I mean,
That's the reason why I'm not gonna be playing the new Final Fantasy game. I want to play it so bad. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. It plays so well. The story is good. The action is good. But I don't want to fucking pay a sub fee for it.
I know. I'm sure a lot of
Probably
people are
really
watching
good.
this saying like, "Here's a fucking cheap ass." It's like, no, It's just we're getting sick. Like we love the game, we just don't want to pay for it anymore.
I still play it
Shut
three
up.
days a week and
You don't
PvP on
count.
weekends.
But what happened to you saying like I'm not gonna be able to afford to pay for it real soon? This is probably gonna be my last month. What happened to that? Who paid your fee this time?
I found in I found a side income until August.
Oh my.
We'll not go into details about this income, 'cause it may or may not be illegal.
Maybe I'll just sell my WoW account and use the money to pay for like a year's worth of Final Fantasy.
I don't think I
I
have anything special enough on my account to sell it.
well,
I still have a Silver
I
Force
think you
achievement.
can't do that anymore. It's not even worth mentioning. It's not even a cool server first.
How many Silver Force do you have,
Uh,
Val? Val, how many Silver Force do you have? Just tell me how many Silver Force do you have?
how many bosses do you got on?
I probably have more than you down on old school bosses. At least better dates on them than you do.
I like how his argument is, hey, do you still play the game? 'Cause I still play the game. That's not an argument.
I think
You
me and you probably have
continuing
the
to
same
play
amount
the
of
game
bosses down in vanilla.
will not give you a server first. Like
Hope,
maybe down in
can
the
hope.
long run, maybe. But it's not like any of us haven't gone back to World of Warcraft for a new freaking expansion.
Speaking of expansion, what do you guys think of the next one? Probably gonna be Legion Invasion.
I'm both interested because Sargeras might be our final boss, but
It
at the same time,
hold on,
we had the Burning Crusade. I'm kind of done with the demons.
hold on. This is all speculation here, but everything Rathian is saying and pointing to is looking like the Burning Legion is gonna hit Azeroth. Like actually get to Azeroth and be like,
Yeah,
yo, we're gonna fuck your
that's
shit
the
up
feeling
now.
I got from it too. I mean, the only thing that would be make me interested though is if it was Sargeras. I mean, it'd have to be the big badass of all demons. If not, it's just like we kind of did the demon thing in Burning Crusade, which is still probably, in my opinion, the best expansion so far. I don't think you're not gonna get me back with just another demon invasion.
When are we gonna see more hero classes?
Right,
In
you
Wrath of
know?
the Lich King, they were like, hero classes. The first one's gonna be what was it? Death
Death
Knight.
Knight.
Death Knight.
They're like Death Knight, the first of the hero classes, and then they started talking about things like Archmages and shit like that.
But
And then they never did anything with it.
here's what really got me with it. They're like, hey, hero classes, this is gonna be our first one, and the goal from here on is to be to have one in every expansion. And then the next expansion came out, and
We're 2 expansions later.
they're like, nah. And then here's the thing: Monkey's even a hero class because hero classes started at a higher level already. Monkey's just another fucking
Yeah.
class.
Um,
And then if you really want to get technical, the Death Knight's not even a hero class because the Paladin would be the first hero class. Because the Paladin is the first class that was actually a hero and a class.
And not to mention, Death Knights are fucking broken as all
They
get out of
were
time.
beyond broken when they came out.
Oh no, they're still broken now. A DK tank now that goes pure mastery as blood. You, so the fuckers don't die. They just do not die. Like I seen one, our DK tank rolls around in his heroic DPS gear as a tank and can take a 1 mil hit and just be like, what happened there? Nothing? Okay.
I think Mastery was the dumbest addition to the game. I miss the days where tanks were all about the evasive stats when hit table mattered and what hit cap and defensive cap were a thing. And if you want defensive cap, you were gonna die.
At Pally, it's all about haste and mastery now. You stack haste so you can get more Shield of the Righteous off, and then your second stat is mastery, so your Shield of the Righteous lowers the amount of damage you take from melee. Blood decays, mastery just gives you such a huge blood shield that absorbs damage, like whenever you death strike. Druids, I don't know anything about druids at all. Shadow Priest Mastery kind of sucks. I don't know about shamans. You probably know what shamans mastery is.
Mastery is equivalent, almost equivalent to haste. It's like if haste is a 1, then mastery is like a point .9.
Hunters are hunters. They just stand there and auto shoot.
I hate hunters who put mastery above everything else.
Sack
Those are
mastery.
bad hunters. It's like,
I can point one out
oh
right now.
hey,
But no one
I have a certain percentage chance to shoot another auto attack.
Well,
Go
no, now it's
haste,
different.
you dick.
Now it's
Go
like
crit. What the fuck?
I think now it increases like your pet damage.
I think it depends on your spec. One is extra shots, one is more elemental damage, and one is more pet damage.
No, I also
Assassination Rogues
I hate
Mastery is
Beastmasters too.
amazing.
I hate Beastmasters. I hate like, oh guess what? Your dog is doing all your damage, so you're pretty much worthless as you stand back and shoot arrows.
The Assassination Rogue Mastery is really nice though, out of all of them. I mean, it's like for every 1% mastery, you get 1% more poison damage. So like my rogue sits at like 117% mastery, I think. So it's like, oh, you know that poison dot that hit for 50k? Oh, now it hits for like 110k non-crits. It's like, and it's just a tick. Oh, maybe
Damn.
it was the actual hit.
So rogues are broken. Anyways, if WoW were to go free to play, like we all said, we'd definitely go and play it. But like every MMO that goes free to play is really hit or miss if they succeed on that. I mean, DCUO sucked free to play. Swoto sucked free to play. But then like Rift is really fun. It's pretty badass free to play. Terra Online is pretty cool free to play. I haven't tried the Secret World since it went free to play. I never bought that game after the beta. I enjoyed it in the beta, but it was like, didn't really feel like the need to buy it.
I
Well,
think
here's the
Blizzard will put a lot of thought into their free-to-play though. Like, they're working on it now. They still got the last raid hasn't come out yet, so they're gonna have all the time till then, and then we'll say the last raid will be out for what 6 months. So they'll have another maybe half a year, almost up until then, and if they want to bring it out then for the next expansion. If not, then they have however much time they want to use in the next expansion too.
Oh man, do you have any idea how many copies would sell if they're like, hey, next expansion, free to play? What?
Especially if they were like, and if you just buy the expansion, we'll give you all previous versions. Which, because they totally
Yeah, for
would.
real.
So the question is, can Blizzard think with their heads and not with their pockets? Because we all know that Activision's pretty
Eh,
greedy.
Well, okay, so I got like speaking on will Blizzard be able to do it right? Um, when the reason that SOTOR and DCUO weren't very good when they went free to play is because they got greedy. I mean, it was like, okay, so for DC Universe, it was like, okay, if you paid for at least 1 month, then you get everything that the game offers, right? And it was like, okay, well, I paid for 1 month and I didn't get any of that shit, so I don't know what the fuck broke on my account, but whatever. So then you go to SOTOR, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they're like, okay, so you can play everything. You can do a little bit of PvP, and you cannot raid or do dungeons. And it's like, fuck you. I think what they were like is a lot of people were like, well, why should I pay for this when all it is like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 3? Why can't I buy my game and play my single player? So they're like, okay, well, fine. Everybody can play their single player, but if you want to do the extra stuff that makes it an MMO, you're gonna have to pay. And then it's like, no, no. Completely defeats the purpose of free to play.
Yeah, my DCUO, I didn't get anything, and I played longer than I think both of you.
Yeah, I didn't get anything either.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
We played the hell
I
out of that
actually
game. It was
paid
a
for
fun
my
game.
first month. Yeah, it was fun for a while. I mean, doing the Doomsday dungeon when we were not even geared for it was so fun. Managed to beat it too. That was pretty fun. I do have some fond memories of DCUO, but I don't know. They screwed me over. They're like, well, if you paid for a month, then you get everything that we're offering because you did buy the game and pay for a month. You know, the same thing with Terra. They're like, hey, if you bought the game from us, you get everything. And I logged into Terra and I was able to do everything.
Yeah, Terra's free to play
And it
is
was the same.
amazing.
Yeah, they're like, hey, and then even if you don't, yeah, you can. There's some where you can pay a subscription fee, one where you can buy the game and then get everything, and then there's the other one where like I think you don't get as many mailboxes or you don't get as many character slots, but you're still able to do everything.
Yeah, like the
I think
big
that I think that's something Blizzard might do.
Terra's big limiting thing is like the amount of things you can have on the auction house. That's like the major limit thing, and it's like I don't even really use auction houses that much, and when I do, it's usually no more than 5 or 10 things at a time.
Yeah, Terra was fun. I think that's some like I went to pick it up again a little while ago when they went free to play. I completely forgot how to play it. I'm sitting here holding my 360 controller and I'm like, what was my shot rotation? I'm just looking at everything I can do and I'm like, did I do this? Oh, that looks cool. Wait, no, maybe I didn't start with that. Did I do this? No, wait, no, that's not right. Because I had it chained like 5 times.
Right. Yeah, Rift also has a really good free to play model now, especially if you've bought it. You get pretty much everything. The only thing you're limited on, I mean, obviously they've had an expansion pack, but you can do almost everything in the expansion except you're limited on the extra class. I mean, not really classes, but the spirits that make up your classes. You're limited on the extra ones that would have came with the expansion. Aside from that, you still get everything, and if you bought the game, they give you a ton of shit. I got a fucking another free mount out of it.
Yeah, they were like,
I haven't logged onto that game since it went free to play. I probably have a shit ton of stuff too because we started at the same time.
It's they've
I
it looks
think,
like they've streamlined leveling. It's a lot fast. They've eliminated a lot of like minor quests, so it's a lot faster now. And they've added in some cool event like things. They're not rifts, but they're like it's basically like, hey, every quest in this area you can do it as a giant raid group, and just basically go through and kill X amount of creatures, like 30 creatures that you would have killed 15 of for the quest, but you're doing it as a giant raid group, and then you move from quest like quest hub to quest hub to quest hub, kind of doing quick versions of these quests, and it's really cool because you get a lot of the rift tokens you would have got out of it.
I think what's really cool about what Rift did was, I guess they have this, oh, what is it? It's like the more stuff you buy, the more you fill this bar on the shop, right?
Yes, I
And
know what
it's
you're talking
like the
about.
more stuff you buy, you get free perks, right? And then it's like, okay, well, since you bought the game prior and you did pay for a couple of months, um, your bar is already like semi full, and it's like, here's all the free stuff you get. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
really
like they're giving
cool.
me free stuff
It's
because I used to
it's a
I
great
used to play.
concept too because it's rewarding loyalty. It's rewarding customer loyalty. As you buy stuff, you fill this bar. As you get far enough, you unlock a new thing. As you hit a new tier of like stuff to unlock, you get a whole bunch of new stuff all at once, and then you move on to the next tier level and do it again, and you get a ton of shit
Well,
out of it.
could you imagine if WoW did that and if you actually had a sub, like if you actually had a sub, a legit one during Vanilla WoW, they gave you like some really badass
Oh my
shit.
god, the explosion of my account. I've been playing that game since I started playing 1 month after launch on my buddy's account. My account came like 3 months after launch. So since 3 months after launch, my account has existed. If my shit did not explode from something like that, I would be highly disappointed.
I
Ultima's I've only
started.
been playing since
I
PC.
think. I think it was when Gruels came out, or whatever raid was after Gruels. I think that's when I started.
That was
Like my
SSC and
problem was,
TK.
SSCTK, yeah, those were good raids though. Those were some of the hardest
yeah,
ones.
yeah, they were good. Like you actually had to go in and like fish that boss out.
Oh yeah, fishing
You know what's
boss.
funny? People still cannot figure out how to solo Vash.
I can't
Totally
even.
doable now,
To
but
be completely honest, there's a couple bosses in there I can't solo at all. They literally just
my
destroy me.
I go
You're
in there
also
my
trying to recall.
paladin. I'm like, oh, she does more damage on all the stacks. She can hit 99. I don't care. And she does no damage to me whatsoever. My priest, I'm just like, oh, all the shit's coming in. Hold on, let me halo real quick and clear the room.
It's funny, like SSC, TK, uh, fucking Black Temple, Mount Hydro. That shit will kill me on my fucking level 90, but I can go in and do 25 man Oni and not even care.
Yeah. Well, they even say that like the older stuff was harder because the newer stuff is for like casuals. They toned it down. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's too hard. Here's a bunch of boss nerfs."
Yeah,
No, learn the fucking mechanics.
they
If you're
basically
gonna
nerf
stand in fire,
mechanics.
you're gonna die to fire. Don't nerf fire.
Like what is it?
Jesus.
BWL, the very first boss of BWL. The boss won't kill you, but chances are the mob you gotta control is gonna die if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
I haven't been in there to.
some.
They've actually nerfed that so much now because I guess people were complaining because you couldn't do it by yourself. So now they made it so you can clear all the eggs in 2 mind control waves.
If anything, they should do like they fucking do with challenge modes and make it so that if you go in there, you'll automatically know off to level 60.
Oh my God! Like Final Fantasy 14 and Realm Reborn does. How when you walk over to that I'm just gonna call it a rift. When you walk up to the rift and you're too high of a level, it automatically levels you down.
Yeah, with the called Fate.
Now,
For those of you who haven't played, the called Fate events, not rifts. They didn't completely jack it. They at least renamed it.
I
now,
just
now,
call
there's
them
one
rifts.
problem with that one.
They just show up and you're like, hey, let's go do that rift.
In challenge mode dungeons, yes, it scales you down to what was it 476? The beginning raid level item stuff or
Yeah.
whatever eye level it is. Yeah, yeah, it scales you down, but it does not scale gems down. So your gems are still your legit gems because you could buy the best one to put it in the shitty gear anyway. So the higher the level or the higher the gear you have, so like a lot of my gear has 2 to 3 gem slots on each piece. So as compared to the dungeon gear that it lowers you down to, where dungeon gear, I think it's like the helm has a gem. So you're getting a shit ton of extra stats that you wouldn't have had before.
I mean, that's fine. We're talking about like level 60 shit. Well, having more stats isn't going to save you from mechanics. You know it, and I know it. Level 60 shit was all about the mechanics.
Nefarian,
Pretty much anything. Like,
you remember Nefarian?
Fucking everybody.
yeah. I mean, your max health was
Everybody
like,
killed you if you didn't do their mechanics.
alright, Blizzard, if you want me
Oh,
back, if you want me back in the game, make it so that I can run a level 60 dungeon at level 90, and then when I go in there, it scales me down to level 60, scales my gear down to dungeon set 1 quality. That way people can actually go in there and legit raid that shit with 40-man raids.
I forget. Oh, that's what they did in Nefarian. Because you know how Nefarian had all the abilities? Like he picked mage, he polymorphed everybody and everything.
Yeah.
They gave Nefarian death grip or mass death grip, so when he picks a DK, he pulls everybody in front of him.
Oh
Lol.
my
Dude, if you
God.
did that and then followed it up with the
He's
fucking
like full
shadow
cleave.
breath, oh, that's so broken. That's fucking mechanics right there.
He was like full cleave.
Full cleave shadow breath. Nobody lives. One of the reasons, by the way, people
Nobody.
listening, that we can talk so much about World of Warcraft is because this is where we all met. I met Val first in World of Warcraft, and then Ultimate later down the line.
Special.
God, I've played with Ruin too long.
To be fair, when we play
We're
those
not
playing
talking about
together,
video games.
yes, yes, we are. Shut up, Val.
But romance.
Oh, no one's supposed to know about that? Shit.
Just use a dick.
I revealed our love to the internet. Oh well, Rowan. No one's gonna listen.
What do you
Okay,
think Skype's
well,
for?
this is why I don't use Skype. We're gonna go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk. I just actually found some more news about Blizzard that I want to talk about because it's kind of funny, and then we'll move on to a couple of other topics. But we're gonna take a break.
Are you gonna let us know this news?
Well, yeah.
He
When I
will
get
be
back,
out of breath.
I'll let you guys know what the news is. We're gonna listen to more Balance and Ruin, from the Final Fantasy VI OC remix soundtrack, and when we get back, we'll talk about more shit. See you soon. All right, and we are back, and that was OC Remix, Balance and Ruin, Final Fantasy VI on OCRemix.org. I said .com last week. It's .org. Get it right.
Way to fuck it up, Rune.
I know, right?
You had
Fantabulous.
one job.
Pretty good
Actually,
song.
I've got a lot of jobs at this podcast. Thank you very much. All you guys have to do is show up and speak.
I have one job.
All right, so before the break, I said that there was some interesting news I heard about Blizzard recently. I just heard about Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard, which is the company that, of course, won World of Warcraft and all this shit nowadays, has been owned by Vorandi. Well, not owned, but majority stock owned by Vorandi for the past couple of years, and
Vivendi.
Vivendi, whatever. Listen, if you want me to pronounce your company's name right, then spell it. I'll make it easy to pronounce.
There's no R.
I don't
No
care.
R.
I don't care. Anyways, Vivendi has been in financial trouble for about a year now, and they've been trying to sell off their stocks for Blizzard, for Activision Blizzard, and they finally did. And the people that bought the stocks to Activision Blizzard were Activision Blizzard.
Mm.
Is it an outplayed move?
It's really a tough call. And like, I mean, this could be a good thing because it means that Blizzard has more control over Blizzard now. Activision Blizzard, I should say. But I mean, still, it's the people we kind of want in control are in control now.
And maybe that might be the reason why the game is so bad. There's
Maybe.
Let
people
me
that don't even know how to name their company right was in charge.
Okay, let me throw this out there real quick. Yeah, when you think of Activision Blizzard, you hear Blizzard, but what everybody keeps forgetting is Activision.
Right. And
Activision.
I have definitely not forgotten that.
Activision to me is on par with EA. That's how bad they're ruining games lately. For a long fucking time now, actually. Maybe not quite EA's level, but they've ruined Call of Duty so bad. They're like, hey, you guys aren't making games fast enough, so we took your assets and gave it to another company. Hope you don't mind. We already did it. They're already like halfway done with the game. But we own you, so you're cool with it. Fucking asshole.
This is true. I think what's more interesting is that the stocks went for $8.2 billion. I wish I had that kind of money to be just throw around.
Oh my god. I would have bought it.
I'd be happy
If I had
with
$8.2 billion, I'd be
no.
like, boom, mine. I own Blizzard now. I call the shots.
Like Vivendi still owns 12% of the stocks. And then the rest is basically publicly owned between the different shareholders at Activision.
So maybe the game might become better again.
I
Like
don't
the
know.
olden days.
All I know is things will probably change, and then we'll either be happy or more mad, or just not care anymore. Probably just not care anymore.
I'd just like to see if maybe they bring back like the olden developers, and bring back like raids, PC raids, vanilla raids.
I want to see hard
I like.
mechanics. Here's what. Here's what's really got me pissed off. Cataclysm, they made heroics fucking hard. We all did them. We all complained about how hard they were. They were a bitch, especially if you were a healer. That was like the worst job ever because everybody hated you. If as soon as you died, fucking you blamed the healer immediately, even if it was just you being stupid at mechanics. And then here in Pandera, this shit was easy. The hardest part about heroics was getting a high enough eye level gear to run heroics, which took like 2 days.
They were
Hold on.
heroics. I thought they were just
Hold-
extended dungeons.
Yeah, that's basically what they
Hold
were.
Here's what everybody's forgetting. Okay, Blizzard promoted the hell out of the fact that heroic dungeons and Cataclysm were going to be hard. You were going to have to pay attention. You were going to have to do mechanics again. You couldn't just tank the shit. And what did they do like 2 months after the game was released? Fucking nerfed everything. Oh, it's too hard? We're sorry. Nerf, 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 nerf this, nerf this. Okay, you guys don't like that's killing you? Well, nerf it. Maybe it'll take out like 50% of your health now instead.
And
That's what pissed me off.
that's about the time I stopped playing in Cataclysm.
Exactly. It's like they were like, "Hey guys, remember how BC was? How it was like fuck you hard? Well, Cataclysm. We're bringing it back. We're gonna bring back all the old school fucking Blizzard fans. Everybody's gonna love it again. You know, no casuals this time. If you're a casual, sorry, bro." And then they got greedy again. Not a lot of people are playing because it's too hard. Too many people are complaining on the forums because it's too hard. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a job and you can't promote like 5 hours a day to learning mechanics? I'm sorry. Here, we'll make it easier for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a job at the time and I'd still come back and learn raid mechanics. Alright? It's not a game that you jump on and you fly around and you look at the environment and you go, wow, what a beautiful world. No, it's a game you get on and you play a fucking game. I'm paying $15 a month. I'm gonna play the fucking game.
I just want to point out that there are certain areas of WoW that I've stopped and be like, wow, this looks really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all did, but it's not like I pay $15 a month for Blizzard to throw gear at me. It's like, hey, $15, boom, gear, thank you. Okay, well, see you next month.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my biggest complaint. Like, okay, so there are people who complain that the game is too hard. But they want more than normal dungeons. Okay, we'll give them a difficulty between heroic and normal. Make it shit faced somewhat easy. If you have enough health, you're gonna live through it. But the people who actually want to fucking CC, learn mechanics, learn fucking what mob groups to fucking block and ditch and shit. Like they gave fucking shamans two forms of CC in Cataclysm, and then at the end of Cataclysm, there was no more using CC. So it's like, yeah, that CC I got for the expansion is no longer useful.
Oh my god, trap
You
launcher?
remember?
I was launching out my ice traps and I was like, yes, I pulled, let's go. I fucking used my CC as a hunter. I was like, yeah, I get to CC shit again. Mark it with a square, like always, right? And then after like 2 months, it's like, don't CC anything. What the fuck? Just pull it. I don't care anymore.
Well, I mean, that was
And
bound to
everybody was all,
happen because eventually everyone's gonna get guild and it's gonna be like, oh, you don't need that shit anymore. But yeah, after you nerf shit to a point, it's like, just let us try to suck at it.
Like even in our raids, our trash pulls, like Rune, you did you do? No, you didn't do the Throne of Thunder LFR, did you?
I did the alpha.
Or at least do the LFR.
I finished the
You remember the
alpha.
bridge?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The three
The
ghosts.
bridge of doom with the winds.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guild nowadays we pull some weeks we pull two, some weeks we pull three. I think we did four last week and still made it out of it with 100% healing debuff.
I just hate that,
Like that's how broken it's got.
that companies make video games so easy, and like, and then they have a bad idea of what's hard. Like oftentimes I see hard mode and it's just like, oh, we're gonna throw a ton of things at you, so it's gonna be harder to avoid them. How about just make them smarter, maybe hit harder, then like not throw 10 billion things at me. That's not really hard mode to me. That's just frustrating.
You remember
Zerg. Zerg.
you remember Ulduar? All the CC you had to do in that place?
See, Ulduar was an example of a raid that wasn't necessarily hard. It was just really fucking frustrating. There's just so much shit going on at once for almost every boss fight, especially like fucking Mimrodon. Oh my god, there's just so much shit going on in that heroic version of Mimrodon.
Hard mode. Hard mode, Myrmidon.
Yeah, that
But
shit's
it was
That
pathetic.
that stuff was ridiculous.
but it was fun at the same time. You went in, you explored a whole area, you did trash, you got to the boss, and when you got to the boss, it was like a feeling of accomplishment, and then when you downed the boss, you were like, yeah, and you felt badass, you know? But then like after that they did oh my god, it was that tournament. I can't remember the name of the arena where you like fought
TOC,
the Yeti bosses.
Trial of the
TOC.
Champion.
You went in and they're like, here's a boss, here's a boss, here's a boss, here's a boss. Good job, you did it, yeah! And it's like,
I don't hate
whatever,
that
trash.
style because I do a lot of times where I just hate trash. I wish at the beginning of Pandora they had a really good balance of trash to boss. I never felt like, oh my god, we're still doing trash at the beginning. But then in Throne of Thunder, there was so much goddamn trash in Throne of Thunder that I want to pull my goddamn hair out.
There's gonna be a lot more trash in the next raid.
I don't like a lot of trash. I like some trash. Trash makes sense because nobody's just gonna be like, "Hey, I've got this fortress," and there's nobody really guarding it but these big badass bosses. No, you're probably gonna have a lot of dudes in there to fuck people up. But a good balance of trash is nice, and like they did it really good in the beginning of Pandora. Throne of Thunder sucked. Like I, after the first week of TOC, I was like, "Oh yeah, no trash. We're just gonna do bosses." The next week it was like, "Oh, bosses, just nothing but bosses." And some of these bosses are real pain in the ass because not because they're hard, but because they have mechanics that people are too dumb to do. And unfortunately, we'll probably be plugging it this week because somebody's stupid and did it.
Well, speaking of difficulty, actually, because I was just thinking of this, um, Blizzard took a step in the right direction when they did looking for raid, because you're full of a whole
No,
bunch of people who are, as far as you know, mentally retarded and don't know how to dodge shit, and the only reason that they're in here is because they're not good enough for their guild. So everything was a little easier. It was a bunch of people you didn't know. There was no vent or Skype if you're stupid or Mumbler or whatever the hell. It was just a bunch of people zerging the fuck out of a raid, and you got gear, you know,
Yes.
and it was like easy mode. And
but
the gear was slightly less than what you get, you know, well, significantly less.
but on on the flip side of that, because it's so stupid easy, like I fall asleep during LFR when I actually do run it. It lowers the rate, like the quality of raiders.
Yeah, but it's for casuals. That's the thing I'm trying to get out there. It's for casuals. It's like, okay, yeah, I work a 9 to 5 job. I come home. I just want to relax, maybe do a raid, you know, whatever,
Right.
cool.
I actually like
And then,
LFL because it let me raid even though I wasn't able to meet like the guild's raid times. I always worked Monday night, which was when I was really hoping to raid with the group, but I had to work, so I couldn't raid on Mondays. So I did LFLs, and I like LFLs because they're easy to do. LFLs are not completely brain dead. There are boss mechanics in LFLs that will kill you. Especially once we get to Throne of Thunder. I don't know how many times we wiped on fucking Li Shen. Because the mechanics won't not just face roll. The thing about LFR is that a lot of people use it for a stepping stone from LFR to actual raids to make the actual raids easier. Because instead of going in with blue gear, you're going in with slightly epic gear. And I think that kind of watered down the actual rating. I would have liked for them to have actually put a lockout where you can either do LFR or you can do an actual raid, but you can't do both.
well,
I
it,
think they're good. I think they're planning on going back to the system where you could run a 10 man and a 25 man because they were different lockouts, and have the loot actually be different eye levels again. Wasn't that Wrath?
Yeah, yeah, that was in Wrath. Which I mean, I don't really super like that kind of design because it just felt like an even bigger fucking gear grind. Like, hey, I did my 10 man.
oh
Now I
my
gotta find a
god.
25 man raid. Or either that or my guild is going to get
Well,
together for 25 man raids and 10 man raids. So now I'm raiding 5 times a week
I
instead of 2.
It's like,
There,
okay, guys, 10-man raid was from 7 to 10, okay, 3 hours. I was like, okay. And then when you're done with that, 25-man raid from, 10:30 to like 1 o'clock. And it's like, fuck you, man. I gotta go to sleep, or I gotta do something that's not this game. I gotta
no, hold
not
on.
kill that boss again.
The thing, no, the thing I think they're thinking about doing that was they're trying to push people more back into doing 25 over 10. Like, take for instance the loot drop amount. 10 man, you get 2 pieces of boss. 25 man, you get like six to 8 pieces, I think, per boss.
Yeah, it's
Like
huge.
the guilds that do 25 man. Oh, and Thunderforge, I believe it's Thunderforged loot, the one that's slightly higher eye level and better stats. Those have a much higher chance to drop in 25 man compared to 10 man.
Which I'm fine with that. What I don't like though is that like 25 man is just flat better gear because that means that the default for the hardcore people is gonna be 25 man. I don't want them to
That's how it
eliminate.
should be.
I know it shouldn't because not all 25 man bosses are harder than 10 man bosses. I don't want them to eliminate the group sizes. I want them to just make it more intriguing for people to do it as 25 man. The best way to do it is to have better fucking like the ability to form guilds and manage guilds easier. Because if you have a lot of people in a guild that can raid, then you're immediately gonna say instead of doing 3 10 mans or 2.5 10 mans, let's get a 25 man together and get more loot out per week. They need to make management easier so that people want the bigger guilds more, so that they can get together and raid more. They need to make 25 man intriguing without making it the way to go. If they want to go high number rating and back again, then get off your asses, quit sucking dick, and go back to 40 man raids and man up like we used to. If you didn't have 40 man, you didn't fucking raid. If I don't care if you only had 39, you didn't fucking raid.
See, like here's what I feel. I feel if they're gonna try and do this 10 and 25 man thing again, 25 man should be the hardcore raiders. 10 man should be have their little casual self. That's how I feel it should be.
But why? Not every
I'm fine
If
boss
with
you want to
is
be
10-man
casual,
raid.
easy as 10 man.
I mean, 25-man was a lot more fun, but it felt like I wasn't really needed. Even though I was like at the top of the DPS charts and stuff like that, it felt like if I died, the raid was still going to carry on and, win without me. But in 10-man, if you died, there was a wipe. You were done. Everybody had to be on point. Instead of like, oh man, 5 people are dead. Shit, who cares? We'll just keep going.
I think it's even more interesting, Val. You're the one complaining about like you have people in your guild not making every raid. 25 mans are gonna slap you in the face if you have that issue.
I see. I also think the virtual realms are gonna fix that issue real quick.
Not necessarily, because you have to consider is every fucking realm that's gonna join your realm. How is their population? Do they already have really tight knit guilds? 'Cause if they do, it's not gonna do you any good if those guilds are already really tight knit unless you're joining a tight knit guild.
Unless there's also like not server guild merges,
Right, exactly.
because that's always a big possibility too. But even back in the day, if you missed a couple raids, you're most likely getting replaced. Like especially like in vanilla days, if you didn't show up to a couple raids,
Dude,
you
if you didn't show up to
probably weren't
one
getting your
raid, you
spot back.
probably won't come in next week. Because whoever they had to pug to fill your group is probably gonna be a full time raid in your group in your spot. You don't miss 40 man raids and fuck out 39 other people.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like you had to show up to every raid or you didn't get to raid. You were done. You missed it. Like, you spent all that time trying to get in good graces with the guild leader or the raid leader and be like, hey man, I got some gear now. I could probably go. And then you go and you're doing good and they're like, okay, you know what? You did a pretty good job. You didn't die any. You had some decent stats and stuff like that. You can go from now on. Every week, boom, you're automatically in. It's like, yeah. And then one week you're like, hey guys, I can't go. Something came up. Like, my wife is bleeding. I gotta see to this. Like, dude, if you miss this raid, you're done. It's like, the fuck? For real? It's a fucking emergency. No, man. Nah.
I
You don't
remember.
understand how hardcore raiders work back then.
I remember.
Hardcore gamers are get the fuck out.
I really like playing tank in vanilla. I played prot warrior. I played the only tank prot warrior. Like paladins could kind of tank and druids could kind of tank, but everyone who was really a guild tank was a fucking prot warrior. I played prot warrior. The problem is that my guild had fucking 6 prot warriors, with like 4 of them wanting to be actually arms warriors, but they had to be prot warriors anyways. So my job ended up being to
Arms.
get everybody guild so that they could run, so that the other classes that they actually needed could fucking raid. So I always sat there on fucking blue level gear, running every single dungeon to get everyone the dungeon sets, to get everyone the resistance skills, to get everyone keyed. Oh my god, getting keyed was such a fucking thing back in the day. To get everyone keyed and branded and everything for raids, and I never fucking got to actually raid.
I miss Karazhan.
Dude, Killzone is one of the best raids they ever came up with. They had some of the best boss
Yeah, dude.
mechanics.
It was the first raid you had to do in freaking BC. And it was the coolest fucking raid ever.
It easily, hands down, had some of the best boss mechanics. I mean, fucking Moros. If you were not, either you were a good hunter and Moros was easy as fuck, or you were an okay hunter and your fucking raid struggled with Moros.
Wait, which one was Moros?
Moros is the guy who always had 4 extra ads with him that changed the classes each week. And generally, you would trap and sleep shot, and then a priest would probably
Oh yeah,
shackle
he was
one.
like the it was like the second group or something like that. When you fought
Yeah,
him in
he
like
was
that
the
dining
second
hall?
boss. Yeah, that's Moros.
Okay. I'm sitting here like, well, I was a hunter. I was like, I'm trying to remember which fight that was. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, you had to freeze trap people.
Right, my
Back
girlfriend.
before fucking trap launcher.
My girlfriend is not the best WoW player in the world, but one thing she could do, and no other hunter could compare to her, was she could solo trap the entirety of Moros. We did not need a shackle. We did not need another trap from another hunter. She could do it all on her own. And it was at that time that I actually thought my girlfriend was good at video games. Now I know better, but at least she could do that.
Wait, she was able to trap one person throughout the entirety?
She was
Because you can only set
able.
one trap every like 30
No,
seconds.
no, no, because she had readiness and she could double trap, and then the wave one, not wave one thing, but the other, what's the wave one thing? The one that made him fall asleep.
Yeah, that was Raven's thing.
So she could double trap and then sleep one, and then we'd kill the other one, and then kill Moros, and then kill the ads.
That's impressive. I always considered myself not the best hunter, but I was at least above average.
You were probably also
I
marksman
mean,
because nobody ever played survival. That was like, I don't know why she liked survival, but she did.
Survival was alright. I refuse to play Beastmaster. If my dog is doing more damage than I am, I'm doing something wrong.
The
all
only
I know.
reason I like Beastmaster is because you get the exotic
You
pets.
can say that to somebody we know.
Yeah. Well, Beastmaster has become really popular lately.
It's because it's one
I
of the
guess
best.
it's the highest damaging one right now.
It's because I can just sit there and be like, okay, pet, you go do this. I'm gonna go watch some TV.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Killzone.
too many people play. Too many people play Flavor of the Month. Oh my God, fucking Ginger.
Hey, I
Fucking,
still play my Shadow Priest for rating.
Our old guild leader Ginger, he used to play a Boomkin, and it was like super OP around the end of Wrath, and then at the beginning of Cataclysm, I was super out DPSing fucking everybody. So what does he do? Oh wait, I have a hunter. I'm gonna start using him. If Ultima can do it, obviously I can. I still out DPSed.
Yeah.
Fucking retard.
It's
Don't play
not.
Flavor
It's not.
of the Month.
See, mine. It's not flavor of the month. I started gearing out my rogue, cause in some of the fights, right now we're all ranged. Right now, our raid group is all ranged. We have 2 mages, a warlock, a shadow priest, and a hunter. Okay, we have no melee. And some of the fights, we really do need to have a melee or two dedicated to just damaging the boss the entire fight. So what we do is I switch out to my rogue for those fights, and I CC and I interrupt like hell on those fights. Since as a Shadow Priest, I only have silence. Like some things it interrupts, some things it doesn't. But my rogue's kick interrupts like everything. Like on Tortos, I hop on
And
my rogue, I get crippling poison,
Voting
and I
Crusade, you
slow
know
the
what I
turtles the whole
played?
day.
A Shaman. In Wrath of the Lich King, you know what I played? Shaman. In Cataclysm, you know what I played? Shaman. In Pendel, you know what I played? A Shaman. You know what I never
You
did?
know what I've played
You know
in
what I
everything?
never ever did? Switch my mains.
My priest is still my
Well,
main.
I my first character was a maid, made it to level 40, and back in like pre-cataclysm, when you hit level 40, you hit this. I call it the level 40 doldrums because it seems like you can go anywhere and do anything, but then it's like all these quests are so long and so boring and so stupid. So then I ended up switching my class to hunter because my buddy Shui was all like, "Hey, maybe you'll try a hunter." So I deleted my mage because I wanted the name Ultima Zero.
Oh.
I was like, but I still want my
So
name.
Now to be
Deleted.
fair, my
No emotional
first
attachment to you.
right, to be fair, my first character was a warrior. But I not only changed classes, I changed factions and servers. I was on a completely different server and a completely different faction. And the only reason I even picked a
same with
warrior
me.
was that was what all my friends were playing Alliance, and I'm like, okay, well I want to be a prot warrior. That's what happened.
Favor the mods.
My first character was
Horde
actually
Unshattered
a
Hand is
human. Was a
way OP
human
this month.
warlock on some weird server. I can't even remember which server he was on anymore. I think my warlock's still level 60.
To be fair, I
Level
did
60
pick
human.
Hold on Shadowed Hand because Hold was dominant PvP on Shadowed Hand, and I wanted to be in dominant PvP side.
I want to win, god damn it!
I
Wait,
went horde
we were
because
down
of
at PvP?
my family was
That's
horde.
not what I remember.
Yes, back in BC we were dominant PvP.
Yeah,
We owned everything.
Oh my god, I remember being severely outnumbered by Alliance. Everywhere you go.
then you went to the bad areas of town.
Dude, I
Don't
would
go in that
go.
area. There's humans over
Like, you
there.
guys remember Hala? I would go there and own that shit for days before we gave it back to them.
I miss the old days where you'd get a giant raid together, go assault a town, and then you'd take their tram or their underground monorail and you'd take it to the next town and you'd destroy that town too. Miss
Hell
those
yeah.
days.
You just fucking roll through and take every
Now,
major fucking king.
yeah, now that you can fly, you just fly in there, I guess, but it doesn't have the same magic of bursting through the gate. Everybody decked out on their wolves and fucking undead horses and shit and their raptors.
Like,
Just
yeah.
quelling a town because they were fucking human.
I had a black Kodo from
Question
PvP, and that's
is-
all you use.
Question is, do you have the dark war Taba? Because that's how you knew you fought at Hala a lot.
I did not because I hate Talbucks. I actually don't like Talbucks. The only reason I have them is to get my 100 mount achievement.
I got the dark warrior because I was like, you know what? I'm halfway there. I may as well just fight it out and get the rest of the tokens for
I
this.
got like
This is the
everything
second
else
I
from
did a lot of
Hala
fighting.
but that. I hate Talbucks with a
If World of
passion.
Warcraft ever goes free to play again, I gotta go back and try and get that Raven mount.
Yeah,
The
that
Raven
mount's
Lord.
apparently a lot easier to get now too. Apparently, it's got a much higher drop rate than it used
Yeah,
to.
well,
Which one?
yeah, they made it the Raven Lord. You remember how you had to have a druid who was going for his
Hey, you don't need druid
transformation
anymore.
quest? Yeah, I farmed him like 3 times, but then I got bored with it. But now that I'm like level 95 and everybody's a bunch of kittens to me, maybe I should go back one time and two-shot him. And be like,
95,
"Yeah."
man. You already got the expansion?
Hell
Shit.
yeah,
Level
don't
up.
you?
I don't.
Don't you, Val? I mean,
Aren't you level
obviously.
95?
I don't got that shit yet.
I don't remember what the
I
level
don't even
cap
know
is.
the name of.
I haven't played this game in like a year. Shut the fuck up, Val.
Is it gonna be like the next expansion name is gonna be like World of Warcraft? We're still here.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, it's raining blood.
'Cause it's raining a man. Oh wait, blood.
Here's a what. This is all the possibilities of that I was seeing. There was, of course, the Legion invasion. Technically, they still do have the Emerald Dream, and in all fairness, they still can explore that pathway, but not as extensively as they could have before.
I wouldn't mind seeing the
And
Emerald Dream, even if it was just a questing
and
area at one
there's
point.
there's this one of the books depicts how if the ships go too far away from Eastern Kingdoms and Azeroth, they disappear on the other side. Like you know how you go towards the Maelstrom, but if you go away, on the other sides of those continents to go the other direction, apparently the ships just disappear, and you still have Lady Vash. So they could end up having like an entire water expansion
The world
surrounding
is
Lady
flat.
Vash being the.
It's not Lady Vash that they still have. It's during Cataclysm. They were actually hyped up a lot before the game came out that Ashera was supposed to
Oh, Queen
be
Vash.
no, it's Ashera. She's the queen of
No,
the
Vash.
Nagas.
The chick that sold us out to the Burning Legion. They still have her.
Yeah.
But they but they could create a whole nother like planet system like they did for Burning Crusade for the next expansion also with the where we could count like, all the stuff with Rathian. We could eventually at the end of it prevent them from invading Azeroth and then we invade them. Because that could also be a
I
possibility where we go
don't
to the
think we're gonna get another
Legion's
planet
homeworld
system,
or
and the
Legion
reason
area.
for that is because the Outlands was always part of Warcraft lore. Well, I mean, the entire Warcraft series is based on the orcs coming from Outlands, so it already really existed before WoW. I don't think they're gonna go through
Oh
if
yeah, dude. Warcraft 2 expansion pack
right.
Beyond the Dark Portal.
Yes, exactly. I would I want them to fucking do Ashera because they fucking hyped that shit up for Cataclysm and then we saw the Nagas and then there was nothing big at all for them. It's like, hey, there's this whole underwater area and we're gonna do this shit where we capture this water elemental guy and then we're just gonna not do anything else.
Aquafina!
Exactly.
Well, I'm wondering, like, what do you think of that? Could be maybe that could be the final expansion, where will we finally kill her?
I don't know about final expansion. She's the problem is that Ashara is only about the level of Illidan. Maybe a bit higher. I mean, she was a pretty good mage. Um, Salgueros should definitely be the final, the end all of end all, because Salgueros becoming a demon is the cornerstone of WoW, of Warcraft. Period. Everything happens because Salgueros goes from a Titan to being a demon. So killing him, like legit killing him, would definitely be the end all end all of WoW.
Now, what do you think of maybe the final expansion is something dealing with all the Titans?
I have
There's still
mixed
that there's that
feelings.
possibility.
I
The Titans,
mean,
all the Titans return.
I have mixed feelings. I mean, we kind of already have made it so the Titans won't fuck with us when we killed the dude in Ulduar. Oh, not killed him, but beat him.
Huzzah.
But if we're gonna do Sargeras, then having the Titans there will make sense because Sargeras is a Titan that became a demon. So having a Titans there to defeat him, I mean, technically we're not gonna do it on our own. The only person that ever really hurt Sargeras was fucking Medivh's mom. I mean,
Good old Medivh.
if anyone would actually do it now, it'd have to be Thrall because he's the only one with the kind of power. The only person to ever halt fucking Sargeras was one random ass orc in a book who's the greatest fucking orc ever.
Doesn't even
Speaking of
have a name.
No,
speaking of
it's
Thrall,
Broxagar, but you guys would not even know who he is because you know in the book. But he is the greatest orc ever. He's the greatest fucking Warcraft anything ever. The dude stands at the fucking dark portal and fights off hundreds of thousands of demons for an unknown period of time until the fucking dragons come in to actually deal damage to Sargeras. And the only damage they're able to deal to Sargeras is because the fucking orc scratched him somewhere, and all the dragons shot the spot where he got scratched.
Nice.
uh, what do you got? Who do you think will be the next war chief?
If it's not
I'm hoping
Vol'jin,
Vol'jin.
if it's not Thrall, it'll be Vol'jin. If I don't want the Blood Elf guy, I don't think so. He's cool. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be Thrall though.
I don't know. Thrall looks like he doesn't want the position. I think he's liking it where he's at. I'm really
I
thinking Vol'jin might be.
I haven't seen like the new story shit that just recently came out, but honestly, with what they've been talking about over the past year, it's looking very likely to be Thrall.
I wouldn't mind if it was the that troll guy, Zul'jin.
Oh yeah, apparently by the end of the expansion, Orgrimmar is going to change again.
That is surprising.
Forgot about that.
The reason
I
why,
think they're going to get rid of all of his changes.
if we're gonna move to this expansion, that's like everyone trying to stop Azeroth from dying, Vol'jin could probably do it. I'm not sure the Blood Elf guy could probably do it. I don't think Sylvanas would ever be able to team up with anybody and not be like, if you're not part of the Horde, I'm gonna kill you. Um, Bane is just a shitty character. I can't believe they killed Kane. Fuck you, Blizzard. Kane was the best Taunt ever. So, I mean, it's gotta. If they're gonna do this
That's why he
expansion,
died.
that's like everything against Azeroth. If we're gonna, it's gonna be some form of kind of uniting the races. It's gotta be Thrall. Thrall was the figurehead of, peace. Also, I think in the next expansion that they're gonna eliminate factions. Calling it now.
I don't want to team up with an alliance.
Calling it now. Think
Nasty
about it.
people.
Think about it. Think about all the problems you think that exist in Raid right now. The number of people, skill level, just the competition overall. If everyone was one faction, then it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't need all these fucking silver modules and shit because you'd have enough people already.
Oh my god, the PvP would literally be just you queue up and just whatever team you're on is whatever team you're on.
Like fucking Swoto when we got fucking Hutball. I fucking loved Hutball.
Yeah. Dude, we owned it, Hutball.
Hutball was the best PvP in that game. Because if you knew how to play your class, you fucking dominated Hutball.
Rainbow Grip. It was fun. I really enjoyed. Like, don't get me wrong. I know we talked a lot of down stuff about SOTOR, but when we played, we had a lot of fun with it.
Right, before Soto went free to play, I think it was an absolutely amazing game. And it could have had people given it a chance and not complained that a new game was buggy. It was easily as good and if not better than World of Warcraft. There was so much to do in that game between the story quests, the side quests, the faction quests. The PvP was great. All the fucking PvP modes were awesome. The classes were pretty well balanced. I didn't really think any class was overpowered except for maybe the stormtroopers. They were kind of broken. And
Oh, bounty hunters.
yeah, well yeah, because they were the equivalent.
They were broken as fuck.
And then like I don't know, finding the Datacrons was fun. We had so much fucking fun trying to get that shit.
Dude, more
Fuck,
games
fuck
need
some
that.
of those.
No, fuck, I love the data. Some of them were a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. But for the most part, I loved getting Datacrons. Finding all of your
I
companions
think
and doing your companion side stories. That game just had so much to do without it being a chore to do it. I'm like, wow, it's just like, hey, we've got dailies and they're gonna take up all your time, but they're not very fun.
Guild Wars 2 did something along the lines of that, but you were looking more for like landmarks and stuff like that. And I think you actually got bonuses depending on stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the stuff like that for Guild Wars. I don't know, I just never got into Guild Wars 2. And I'm told that my justification for not getting into it was legit. Like, everyone was like, oh, revolutionary questing. And then, like, a month after it came out, it's like, not really revolutionary. You're pretty much just doing the same thing. You just have the option of different quests you can do for one particular mission.
Yeah. Instead of you like really going to a quest hub, you like walked out there to like this little like it was like a heart or something on the map, and this person's like, "Do this quest for me." You'd be like, "Okay," and then you'd do it, and then it'd be done. And then you'd like look for another marker on the map. You're like, "Okay, there's something over here. I just gotta go back. I gotta go over here."
Like, I think a lot
I
of the
mean, it was
problems with MMOs is that people, like, the biggest complaint is that questing is boring, that it's always the same. But what do you really do to change questing?
you you can't. I don't have any
Level up via
problem with the
PvP.
questing.
Fuck
My
questing.
problem is World of Warcraft kind of spoiled me with endgame content. And the problem with SOTOR is there wasn't really anything. I mean,
Right.
we never even got our guild star class ships
I think
or
our
anything like
biggest
that that they
problem
said they were working
was
on.
that most of the people we thought were going to get really into the game with us kind of bitched out on us. And then we didn't get big into the in-game dungeons. And there was a couple raids, but we never got to experience them because everyone bitched out and our guild fell apart.
Here's here's what happened. Me and Ruin got to level 50, right? We leveled up together, so it made it a little more tolerable. And then Val's all like, "Fuck this game. I don't have time for this." And then Shui is fucking doing that one quest on Alderaan, and it's like the last one where you have to like this dude puts himself in a force field and you gotta turn these switches off, and he keeps dying on it over and over and over and over and over again. So he's like flipping his computer. He's like, "Fuck this game!" And then my brother and his wife are still playing it. They're like, when are you gonna come back and play Star Wars?" And I'm like, when is Star Wars gonna get better?"
To
That's my
be
answer.
to
When
be
is Star Wars gonna
fair,
get better?
me and you will tank and healer, so us leveling together was legitimately required.
Well, you were like healer slash damage, so I mean,
Well, I was
I
healer.
was just
My
straight damage.
companion was straight damage.
yeah, okay. So we had it pretty easy. I mean, Jedi Knight and Jedi Consular.
Sage.
Say, yeah. I mean, we just fucking steamrolled through everything, even stuff we probably really shouldn't have. But the difficulty curve on that game did get a little bit ridiculous, to where I mean, certain people couldn't even solo certain quests. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, well, I've done everything up until this point. I cleared out all the other planets of their quests that I could do, and then I came here, and I can't kill this guy? Why?
There was definitely a lot of
I'm
hard
not...
quests that, like, we only got to because it was that we were tanks and healers.
See,
Yeah, there
I
were
hit a
some
brick.
quests.
I
There
quit
were some of
playing
your
because I hit a
story
brick
quests.
wall.
What happened was, me and Ruin would do all our quests together, and then when it came to the story quest, it'd be like, okay, let's go do our story quest, and then meet back up and do stuff. Sometimes I had to go into Ruin's story quest to help him out because it was just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, as a healer, some of them were really hard. Some of mine were insane. There was the very last
Yeah.
one I had to do. This guy would basically cast an insta kill spell, but your interrupt wasn't always off cooldown, so you had to time it with your stun, and it was a pain in the ass to get the ordering right. If you panicked and hit the interrupts in the wrong order, you'd have one that was they'd both be down at some point, and you'd be screwed.
Yeah, see, mine was I hit this brick wall in my quest line, where I had the damage. I just couldn't keep myself up. I just took too much damage and I couldn't survive through it.
Yeah, when we got to it was that mechanized planet that was in constant war. When we got there, it was like everything was just doing so much damage.
Right, up into that
And it
planet,
was like,
I would basically DPS and throw out a hot heal there. At that planet, I basically just became a heal bot.
yeah. It was like, dude, you just gotta keep healing me because, I mean, I'm gonna fucking die. And I was pretty tanky. Like, people couldn't really damage me in Hutball and shit like that.
Right.
So I was popping my cooldowns when I needed to, and I was doing what I needed to, but the enemies were just hitting so fucking hard. And I think the problem is I was a tanky or a healer. We didn't really have that damage.
Right. For
You
our
know?
companions, we'd have like no damage at all.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, so yeah, we can tank them forever, but it's taking forever.
Luckily, though, we got really good at Hubba. We were almost fully PvP good before we quit. I know I only needed like 3 or 4 more pieces, and because I was getting those random pieces, I was giving some of them to my companion because she was also a sage, so she could will them.
Yeah. It was a
Can't
good
believe
game.
people still play that game.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it wasn't a bad game.
I
It just, I mean, if you're just in it for the story, I guess. I mean, the story, all the
yeah,
solo stories were pretty good. I've played through 4 of
look,
them now. If I include Ultimas, I've played through 4 of them because I get to see everything. Technically, Ultima didn't kill the Emperor. I did because Ultima died.
did I? I was on shenanigans there.
You died at like the last second because I couldn't keep you up.
Did I? Ah,
So it's your fault that he didn't kill the Emperor.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of like. I mean, technically, you're supposed to be able to solo it. So I don't know what the problem is.
you were supposed to sell us some of your shit too, so.
All right, all right, all right. I think we're gonna call it here. We've been going for almost 2 hours, a little less. We'll be back again next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out our channels. They'll be in the description of the VOD. Ultima doesn't even know his fucking slash. I'm not even gonna go through the trouble of trying to explain which channels are which. But Ultima, you wanna explain your channel again real quick this week?
Yeah. So, we're playing some Minecraft, and we're playing on a Feed the Beast server. What we're doing is we're teching up our equipment and everything. We found this volcano. We're gonna hollow it out, turn it into a geothermal reactor to power a city that we're gonna build. And honestly, it's just one of those like, hey, let's build stuff. But first, we have to, find materials, build up our technology and stuff like that, which we've done. We're getting to the point where we got to go to the Nether, and we got a lot of technology, and we're ready to start hollowing out the volcano. Plus, um, coming up Monday, well, not Monday, coming up in like a week or so, we're gonna have something I'm calling the facelift update. And what that is I'm using a texture pack. We're going up to 1080p, and we're going to have videos of what Ruin and Val are doing in the corners, so you can see everything they're doing at the same time, and we're going to have some better audio quality. So I am taking a lot of feedback that some people are giving me and like working it in, and just check it out. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I've gotten quite a few subscribers since I've put them up, so get a look-see.
Yep, that's a lot of fun. And on this channel, we've got the first episode of Hoofster was hopeless at, and this week I was hopeless at StarCraft 2. I was so hopeless that I actually lost to a bot. It's pretty funny. Watch it. I actually fucked up the video though, so there's some recording shenanigans though, but it's still pretty funny. And then I got another one coming up soon, as well as my first episode of Node Rant, and hopefully we'll get the first episode of me making an RPG game with the RPG Maker soon. But I'm still trying to work out the format for that one. And then Val has a channel, but it sucks. We're not even gonna talk about it.
Oh, guys, guess what? I didn't mention this. Um, if you YouTube search for Frenemies Play, my videos are starting to show up on the first page. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time they weren't, right? So they're starting to show up now. I was like, yeah! That means you're starting to get up there.
Yes.
So that's pretty boss.
Now we can get this podcast to start showing up. and get people to actually watch it.
I know, right?
We're up to like 10 or 11 viewers now on the first episode. I'm gonna jump on the Reddit and get some Reddit going and try to get us some advertisement for this shit. Because the best way to succeed at YouTube is to shamelessly advertise, and everyone will agree with me.
Like,
Okay, well, to an
like
extent.
Coca-Cola,
Don't go into
how
other
it's such
people's
a good
YouTube
drink.
channels and promote yourself.
Okay, don't do that. Alright, guys, well, we're gonna call it for this
Yeah.
week. We'll see you guys next week with some new naughty topics, and hopefully have some more fun. But that'll be off for us.
I'm holding out for the Final Fantasy chat. Or the anime chat. Looking forward to it. Looking forward.
Alright, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.